ago, Team France won in Latvia, and in doing so, they set themselves up for an historic homecoming. It's been 10 years since the hills of Ernée resonated to the roars of a Motocross of Nations crowd, and this year they will again. France awaits with bated breath for their glorious tricolour, the homegrown heroes of Polan, MXoN and Febvre, to ride forth on bikes bearing the champions' numbers of 1, 2 and 3, to defend the Chamberlain Trophy from those who seek to spoil the party. This is Ernée in France, and this is the 2015 Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations.
Coach Paulin, number 1, riding for Team France.
Hello, I'm Thales Villardi, riding number 75 for Team Brazil.
Sean Simpson, riding number 10 for Team Great Britain.
A freshly prepared track then. Here at Ernée, the riders charge down into turn 1. There have been quite a few different changes on this year's circuit. The first corner into turn 2 remains the same, but then we have this small little double here through turn 3, right in front of the main spectator area, over the Ippon jump, and then into turn 4. All of this remains the same. Then the riders head out of this turn into a brand new double jump, pretty big. So the rider's going to be spending quite a bit of time in the air over this one. The old circuit used to go 180 left back on itself, but now it continues up the hill, so utilising the hillside in a slightly different way. Single, double, double, single at the top of the hill, and then into this off-cambered downhill left, over a small single into this bottom right, and then back up the hillside one more time. Again over a slight single, and then doubling up onto the top, into this next left-hander. And then this now bears some kind of resemblance to the old circuit, dropping down in this bottom right-hander, and then up the far hillside. Riders get towards the top. There's a nice step-up jump under the Monster Energy banner, and then into the right-hander, immediately into the wave section, across the highest point of the circuit, over the tabletop, turning 90 degrees right, and then you can go double, single, or you can triple all the way down, and that banking will be absolutely full of crowd come race day. Bottom of the hill, 180 left, all the way back up, Monster Energy step up into a tight right, over a slight little drop down, very steep, this descent into this left-hander. Through the final turn, dropping down towards the Monster Energy finish line jump, over a slight double. And then at the bottom of the hill, the riders will go left past pit lane and into what will be the final turn on the track before re-emerging back down the start straight. Here for the 69th edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations.
The Motocross of Nations is not just a race to win. For the select few, such as USA, France, Belgium, they enter every Motocross of Nations with the expectations of top results, like these guys trying their hand at the Monster Energy pit bike race. Yet behind them, there's another side to the event. It's the race to compete and qualify for Sunday's A final. In that group, you have teams like Japan, Brazil, the ever-popular Puerto Rico and Venezuela, who fight tooth and nail every year for every last spot. This is their story.
This is actually my 11th Motocross of Nations on the trot. This is my first one back in 2005 here at Ernie, so it's quite nice to be back here. I know the crowd's going to be absolutely buzzing, the atmosphere is going to be brilliant, so there's no reason why we can't just go straight into the A final. You know, rather the last couple of years we've ended up in the B final and winning that to get into the A final, so you know, hopefully we can get the good results in the heat races and get straight into the main.
Team Japan is good team because the other guys a lot of experience from Japanese championship. Yeah, it should be okay.
It's our main goal to be qualified, even to pass the B final, to get in the A finals. Will be tough. We are amateurs, but we trained a lot this summer together, and I think we have a good team this year.
It's something special to represent your own country, and especially in France, where the crowd is always very huge, and yeah, the fans are just crazy, and I hope a lot of Slovenian fans will come.
Firstly, the biggest thing would be to qualify. You know, all of us we haven't been racing in the World Championship or in America. You know, we're coming from national championship racing, and then if we do that, then I think that we could, you know, probably sneak into the top 10 if we had a great day.
How much? Yeah, I want to win both races. I will try to do my best both races and to win. For sure will be amazing here in France. It's just our goal. We need to do our best and try to win as much as we can.
Now Motocross of Nations, our country, our pride, you know, so I'm super motivated. It's the last one of the year, and I would like to turn this bad season into an awesome season. Now we are like the underdog, and that's not too bad, you know, because even with a less team, you still can win the nations. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we hope it's going to be good.
No one knows what to expect, really. I mean, besides the riders know, you know, what we have to do. I know what I have to do. Cooper knows, Jeremy knows. So we're just very excited and ready to get out there. And, you know, I'm wind up like a rabbit right now, just ready to go out there and hammer down.
I didn't sleep much last night. I mean, I don't know whether that's a jet lag or whether I was just thinking about the nations in general. I wasn't that hyped. You know, we got last week out the way, and then all of a sudden now it's like on Twitter and Instagram and things like that. It's amazing the amount of support for this race that you get as, you know, to represent your country.
The nations are always from inside, always.
Us three are like the fastest from that country right at this moment, and the reason we are where we are at this moment is because we all like honestly left the country for more competition in other places. We've just been pushing ourselves since we were like 4 years old, and that's why we got where we got, because really the level there of motocross is nowhere near where we are at this moment.
For me, it's just about getting my country as high as I can, and they've never been able to qualify before, so if we do that, we'll make history. It'll be the first time that we qualify.
Our country is such a need right now for hope, and I hope that us qualifying for these nations and doing more than that, just racing well and getting a good position will give some hope to the Venezuelan country at this moment when they so need it.
After a decent draw, it all came down to the 3 individual qualifying races, MXGP, MX2 and Open. With Badiali notching 18th place, American-based Rodriguez was up for MX2. And he took 17th to put them well in with a chance of making history. But it came crashing down as Lorenzo Lecurcio crashed and other teams moved up the order to notch up lower totals and destroy the hopes of the team. But there was no chance. Qualifying relegated the team to the B final, and from there, crashes, injuries and mechanical problems sank any remaining hopes of rising above expectations. For Venezuela, it was all over before the sun had set on Saturday. Things were not going well at the top end either, as qualifying went downhill fast for the Brits.
I don't know, there's some local guys out there, or guys with questionable speed and talents. One guy just landed right on top of my left arm. Things got a bit worse thereafter with Max. He was in third as well and got landed on and got taken off to the side of the track, and sounds like he's done his shoulder a mischief. It's definitely a tough one to sort of comprehend how today spiralled, not out of control, but spiralled quite badly in the wrong direction for us. I found a lucky coin this morning and I thought that's going to be good for us, but it wasn't. It's just frustrating really, because we always seem to have bad luck in some shape or form at the Nations, and this year has turned out to be no different. Team GBs took a hit today.
Heartbreak and joy, the two distinct and all too obvious elements of the motocross of nations. The race means just that little bit more to the teams, riders and fans. It's Sunday morning and the races are fast approaching. For Team GB, the podium dream is over, but for Team France, the very real possibility of home ground dominance is looming. Will they be able to bring home the Chamberlain Trophy whilst shouldering the burden of expectation from their adoring fans? We'll find out after the break.
Welcome back to France. It's race day. The time when the talking stops, the racing starts. It was an explosive start. MXGP and MX2. 40 riders blasting down the start straight into turn 1. And it was number 7, Justin Barsha of Team USA, who grabbed the foxhole shot. The roar of the French crowd urging on their home riders, but they were just inside the top 10. Gauthier Paulin on board, making rapid progress in 5th place. Barsha led though. Ben Townley was in 2nd, as Paulin looked to make more progress. 3 riders fell, including Todd Waters, while Paulin got stuck halfway around the lap. He ran into the back of Valentin Guillot, but didn't lose too much time. His teammate Marvin Musquin, though, was on the charge and already in 3rd place. And the French fans were in euphoria. He then caught Ben Townley of New Zealand to jump into 2nd position, and then set his sights on the American, Justin Barsha. Barsha made a slight mistake. He hit neutral in one of the tight corners, and that allowed Musquin into the lead. The 2 riders then traded positions on more than one occasion, whilst Gauthier Paulin lost the front end, took Max Nagel with him, and fell from 5th place down to 7th, which is where he would remain. Barsha tried another move down the inside of Musquin, both riders making more than their fair share of mistakes. Barsha eventually found his way around the outside in the narrowest of gaps. Another mistake from the American allowed Musquin through once more. This epic battle going on and on. Musquin wondered if he could hold on. Barsha doing all he could. Eventually his opportunity came at the end of the start straight, and on lap 11 he was through once more. Musquin tried and tried, but it was all to no avail. He got it wrong over the jump, cross-rutted and went down hard. He lost 2nd position as Bobryshev went by, and later in the race Max Nagel of Germany also found his way past the Frenchman, who eventually came home in 4th place. But it was plain sailing for the number 7 of Justin Barsha and Team USA as he cruised to victory in race 1 ahead of Bobryshev, Nagel, Musquin and his teammate Jeremy Martin. After race 1, the USA were leading on 6 points, France 2nd on 11, and Team Switzerland 3rd on 19. The Swiss team chasing their first podium since Namur in 1965. A hard charge down the start straight saw the number 9, the American, Cooper Webb, grab the foxhole shot as Dean Ferris crashed on the exit of turn 2. Jeremy Seewer was buried in the pack. The number 3 of Romain Fevre was well placed, and his teammate did well to avoid a slight problem as Jeremy Van Hoorbeek almost landing on Mathis Caro. Cooper Webb led. The number 12 of Dean Wilson of Great Britain. The 6 of Van Hoorbeek was in 3rd, and Romain Fevre, though, was soon past his fellow Yamaha rider and into 3rd and going after Musquin and Webb. First he had to deal with the number 12 of Wilson, who made it very difficult for the Frenchman. But his time came, and with that pass he was into 2nd. All eyes were once again on the battle between the American and the French. Julien Lieber of Belgium came in, he had a crash, bent the front disc, and was out of ninth as his teammate was doing all he could to try and pick up some points for Team Belgium. MXoN and Jeremy Martin, the French and the American rider, were banging bars, but MXoN found his rhythm and found his way past the number 6 of Van Horbeke to get himself into third. Meanwhile, Febvre found his way past Webb to take the lead. MXoN was well placed there in third position, but could do nothing to close down on his teammate Romain Febvre or Cooper Webb, as Jeremy Seewer struggled in 10th. Cooper Webb fell whilst trying to keep onto the rear wheel of Febvre, and that allowed MXoN to close in on the American, but Webb responded and pulled clear of Marvin MXoN. Romain Febvre, though, was victorious in race 2, Webb second, MXoN third, and France were closing back in on the Americans. After 2 races, the USA on 13, France on 15. That gap just 2 points. But in third, Estonia. Their best position in this competition, 4th. They were looking to better that. Could they do it in France? Charging down into turn 1, Ben Townley getting another good start just behind the Swede, Philip Bengtsson, who got the foxhole shot. It was a frantic first few corners as Bobryshev and Paulin battled it out. Bengtsson almost landing on there by the number 3 of Romain Febvre as Townley got himself into second, and a mistake from Paulin. Townley made that pass to take the lead, but not for long, and it wasn't until he got to the top of the hill that the Kiwi eventually found his way clear of Bengtsson, and at the same time Romain Febvre of France moved into second position. The French were well placed, the Americans not so. After their 2 hole shots in the first 2 races, it was starting to fall apart for the Americans as Febvre took the lead on lap 3. He couldn't shake off the challenge though of Ben Townley. Kenderdijker for Belgium, suddenly getting the Belgians back into contention for a podium position as Barsha put in a hard charge as well, coming through the field. Dean Ferris made a great start. He was up as high as 4th for Team Australia as Barsha found his way clear of Dijker. He got his teammate behind him. He allowed Webb to close in as he was the faster of the 2 Americans, but then Webb made this mistake from 6th. He stalled the bike, lost a lot of time and possibly some momentum to get himself on the rear wheel of Gauthier Paulin for a crucial point in the closing stages of the race. Romain Febvre couldn't do any more than he was doing, and Gauthier Paulin was circulating inside the top 5. He made a great move on Ferris to get himself up to 4th place, as Barsha also found his way past the Australian, and then he fell. Paulin and Barsha banged bars, and the American eventually went through on the number 1. That was 1 more point clawed back for Team USA in what was coming down to the final laps of this final moto. Febvre still struggling to stay more than a couple of seconds clear of Ben Townley. Got on the gas in the final stages of the race and pulled clear to win. Townley was second, Barsha third, Bobryshev was 4th. But more importantly, Gauthier Paulin crossed the line to take 5th, which was enough for the French to take victory for the 3rd time and a successful defence of the Chamberlain Trophy and the Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. The French stood proudly on the top step, flanked by Team USA in 2nd and Team Belgium in 3rd. What a day for the French, and what a great advert for motocross all over the world. Team France are the Motocross of Nations champions again.